Hey guys, welcome. Welcome aboard. If you happen to be brand new, welcome back. If you're not, welcome home if that fits perfectly for you. Today we want to talk about what is up for the week of the 7th through the 13th of October 2024. Here's what I want to say. This is the peak of retrograde season this week. And remember that retrograde season is when the universe is asking you to stop looking outward for your lessons and to turn inward and work on that integration. Make sure that you are doing those assessments, those, reassessing, reevaluating, all of those good things that ask you what it is that you've been doing, what it is that you want to do next, right? So you're evaluating. On Monday, the 7th, we begin with really just one major aspect. The Sag Moon is going to square Saturn in retrograde in Pisces. Now, here's the deal. Yeah, I saw it happen. So on Monday, how you do what you do might be called into question. So if your muscle memory, and remember that we're talking about that literally and figuratively, if that has you acting in an unconscious manner, in an unintentional manner, hit the full stop button. Keep your full self in the game. Remember that your now is always and forever the only point in which you may create. So give your now all of your attention and all of your chosen power. On Tuesday, we have that Sag Moon sextile. Wow, look at that, y'all. We have that Sag Moon sextiling the sun. Not even an hour in. Okay. Not even an hour into the day. Venus in Scorpio is going to trine Mars. The moon will quincunx Mars. Mercury in Libra will both trine Jupiter and oppose Chiron. Then the moon will oppose Jupiter, trine Chiron, sextile Mercury, and quincunx Uranus. Now here's the deal. There is an exact mystic rectangle in the sky. Here's the deal. This will bring gifts and challenges in equal measure, right? So the moon opposing Jupiter just before Jupiter goes retrograde will absolutely rocket your feelings into the stratosphere. The key here is to rein them in. Really witness where that will feel comfortable or uncomfortable, and make sure that you know, right, that you are presently aware, that you are amplifying in every moment. So strive to be as regulated as you are able to be. Mercury opposing Chiron is really going to ask you to be an expression of your heart. Now, those together really kind of sow the seeds for, let's call it like a magical abracadabra, which is lovely. Venus is also trining Mars, and this is really giving you a lot of room to create from that place of true awareness of home. And remember, when we talk about home as it relates to Venus, we are talking about the actual experience, the sensual experience of home. So what home looks like, tastes like, feels like, smells like, sounds like, always self-reflexive, always only able to be defined by you. So be aware, be very, very aware. It is a big deal. On Wednesday, the 9th, the moon in Sagittarius will square Neptune. Pay attention to the dream time, right? Jupiter goes retrograde at 21 degrees Gemini at 2:05 in the morning Central Time, right? So this is a very busy dream time. Jupiter stays in retrograde until February, until the 4th of February. And the moon moves into Capricorn at 4:30 in the morning. So literally everything is even before you 5 a.m. waker-uppers, right? So again, pay attention to that dream time. It will be important. The day is all about reality and your part in creation. And that's going to be front and center for the next 4 months, right? As Jupiter retrogrades in that point of Gemini. Relationships are key here because this retrograde is happening at the point of the descendant, right? So this is where you start your journey from self into awareness of other, right? Your relational awareness comes into play here. So making sure that you're really witnessing the places where you are not just in creation of yourself, but also in creation of your relationships as a reflection of yourself, right? Real healing is very open. So if you're going to do that work, you will absolutely reap the rewards of this beautiful Jupiter retrograde. On Thursday the 10th, you know, there's just a lot going on this week. The Capricorn moon sextiles Saturn. Venus in Scorpio quincunxes both newly retrograding Jupiter and retrograding Chiron. And then that Capricorn moon just gets busy. She squares the sun, she squares Chiron, she opposes Mars, she quincunxes Jupiter and sextiles Venus. So as the energy ushers you kind of further along your path, it's really asking you to be witness to all of those hurts and places of unhealedness, right? As opportunities, okay? Because here's the deal. We learn what we don't want through experience. And so we can only create that space intentionally by learning what we don't want. This is how we open to our true desires, right? And this is an ongoing process. And so the thing is, how are we claiming that truth? How are we conjuring this space of home? Well, it's by learning what we don't want and then claiming what we do as a result. Like, I mean, you feel me, you get it, right? It's really about not being stuck, not wallowing in the, oh, this is terrible, I hate this. No, it's about cutting bait, moving on, right? I can't catch a fish here. I'm going to go over there because those fish look great. And I'm not going to argue with these fish to try and get them to come out of the water. It's not working here. Let me go here. This is what I want, right? If you want fish, you got to find a place where they're going to bite. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. So pay attention to that. Thank you. On Friday, the 11th, again, that Capricorn moon is super, super busy. She will square Mercury. She'll trine Uranus, sextile Neptune, and conjunct Pluto. Dun, dun, dun. And then the moon moves into Aquarius, right? Mercury in Libra will also quincunx Uranus, and then at 7:34 p.m. Central Time, Pluto moves direct, 29 degrees of Capricorn. So this Capricorn moon is really activating these big, giant transpersonal energies today. And here's the deal. What's happening is that we're being escorted as individuals toward our collective highest and best, right? And we're talking about like destiny and fate here. The moon is absolutely creating solid connections with our transformative nature, right? With our most transformative nature, in fact. And we're really being prepped for seismic shifts that are coming, right? Pluto direct is absolutely going to kind of soften us into the clay that we are, right? Because remember, the stuckness, the rigidness of society, of the structures that we create around us, don't always take in don't always take into account the fact that we are always in creation of ourselves, right? And so it's really asking us what comes next. I mean, anything that we want, right? Anything that we desire, anything that we choose. So focus that, or focus on that, I guess. Focus there. On Saturday, the 12th, Jupiter in retrograde sextiles Chiron. Mercury will quincunx Neptune, and that Aquarius moon is going to trine the Libra sun and quincunx Mars. So mission, your sense of mission is going to become very internal, and your processing capacities are going to feel a little bit challenged, but not really overloaded. Give way to kind of your intuitive, dreamy self. Allow yourself to connect and to express that connection with the divine today. You're definitely able to reach, let's call it new depths, and maybe even create yourself as opposed to seeking to create anything external or outside of you. And remember, that's all you can do is create yourself, right? On Sunday, again, we have a very busy day. The Aquarius moon will, hello, we see you, will sextile Chiron. Hold on, I have to pick this up. Oh, perfect. Thank you. The Aquarius moon will sextile Chiron, will also trine Jupiter and square Venus. Libra, Mercury, will square Pluto. Remember, Pluto is direct now. The Aquarius moon will square Uranus. Mercury moves into Scorpio. The moon moves into Pisces. That Pisces moon is going to trine Mercury. Mars in Cancer will square Chiron, and then the sun will oppose Chiron and trine Jupiter. Holy catfish, that's a lot. So we have a T-square, right? So Mars in Cancer is opposed to the sun and Chiron. So here's the thing. Plus, Pluto goes direct, right? So this is some serious cardinal energy. Now, here's how this feels. Going along to get along is not going to work. It's only going to get you so far. Any lashing out, any mean-spirited behaviors that you choose, and this is whether those are reactions or chosen responses. They're going to have long consequences, especially on Sunday. So focus on your healed responses. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, let me think about that. Let me get back to you. Reactivity is going to be rampant, and you have the choice not to buy into that, right? Remember that as Mercury moves into Scorpio, this really creates a deep potential for healing, but it also creates a hazard, because any kind of action or expression that has a nefarious intention behind it is absolutely going to, like I said, it's going to come back and left hook you later. Nobody wants that. As the moon moves into Pisces, you might kind of feel like a decombustion of that, but don't let that come too late, right? Keep breathing. Keep focusing on your highest and best. Keep focusing on that sense of home as opposed to thinking about anything that has malicious or nefarious or backbiting tendencies behind it. Stay away from that on Sunday. Let's talk. On Monday, you have the Star and the Emperor. Lovely, right? So we talked about this as a day of how you do what you do and how that can be called into question. Making sure that any behavior that comes up that is unconscious or unintentional, right? We want to make sure we're hitting the stop button at that point in time. Keeping your full self in the game. And remembering that the universe is always going to allow you to create exactly what you believe you are. So give your now all of your attention. Remember that the emperor is the king of all kings. He's the sum of all kings. And so the universe is always moving at his beckon, right, is what wanted to come out. So we're going to let that roll. But that's also true. And the only way that you can circumvent this is if you are unconsciously creating, and then you end up conjuring something that you end up having to banish later, because the universe is going to give you everything that you ask for. Make sure it's what you ask for. On Tuesday, you have the Empress, right? So you are starting off with complete and total boss energy this week, in the masculine, in the feminine. This is beautiful. And then here you have Judgment, clarifying the Empress. So remembering that the Empress is about abundance. It's about everything that you sow coming into fruition. So making sure that you're really utilizing your discernment here. Remember, we talked about having that mystic rectangle moving on the 8th. Now, making sure that before all of these big energies start to move for you, that you're making sure that your intentions are clear, that the seeding you're doing is exactly what you want. So really be in your judgment, really be in your discernment, really be in your sense of abracadabra. And do not discount the fact that you have this absolute and all-powerful divine pair sitting at the top of this week, right? Clarified by 2 majors as well. So this energy is huge. Be really cognizant of what you're planting. Really cognizant of what you're planting, please and thank you. Well, how about please and thank me later? You have the Fool and the Page of Pentacles on Wednesday. Remembering that we're paying attention to that dream time, right? And really witnessing as Jupiter goes retrograde, how we're going to turn inward, how we're going to make sure that all of our everything, all of that reassessment, all of that amplification is going to 100% start with us, right? So something that's coming into your field right now is this opportunity. What are you going to do with it, right? Real healing, make sure, is open to you. So make sure that you're doing that work. But you have to start with a very grounded sense of self. Because if you don't, then there is nothing to amplify. Jupiter, again, will give you everything that you wish. You just have to know what it is that you're putting out there. On Thursday, you have the King of Swords and the 6 of Cups, right? So this is interesting, right? And here's the thing. We talk about using those unhealed reactions as opportunities, okay? So we have the 6 of Cups, which is this nostalgic card of childhood, of unconditional love, of the way that things were, of how they felt when we were unjaded, right? And then we have the King of Swords here, really looking at things with this logical bent. And so this is a very feeling card. This is a very logical card. So making sure that all of those places where you default, that you're able to witness them with your wiser eyes, right? You get to do that. If there's a place that's looking for healing here, that is looking for you to bring your present to that place in the past, you get to do that now, right? So making sure that we're calling this our ongoing process, and looking for those opportunities to really pull things back and reframe them, or to pull them back from these high, lofty kind of places of logic and really ground them in the sense of our heart. Just pay attention. There's a lot there, right? On Friday the 11th, you have the 3 of Cups and the 4. No, I'm sorry. This is the 3 of Wands and the 4 of Cups. Yep, the 3 of Wands and the 4 of Cups. So if you're feeling any kind of weird way about what it is that you want to conjure, what it is that you want to call in, Stop. Pay attention, right? We talked about this moon really activates our transpersonal energies, and we're really looking for our collective highest and best. If you're not feeling that, if you're not engaged with that, if you're not activated in that way, what are you calling to yourself? The Three of Wands is all about your future planning, your long-term magnetization, right? And so if you're prepping for the seismic shifts to come and you're showing up with whatever kind of energy, that's exactly what you're going to bring to yourself. If you're going to allow this Pluto moving direct to really conjure yourself as engaged and an active chooser, you can't be disengaged. You can't be disengaged. What you can do is activate your fantasy system and say, oh, well, let's see, right? What might feel good? What might I like to bring into my life? And you should have been, honestly, already singing that song, working on that narrative, looking back through your mental files, your emotional files, your spiritual files, and creating what it is that you want in the now, so that your now is not dissociated. It's not distracted in any way, right? Right. You have the Four of Pentacles. Yep. And the 10 of Pentacles. Absolutely lovely. On Saturday, we talked about this as mission becoming internal, right? Here's the deal. This Four of Pentacles asks you where you're holding on to things or where you're conserving your energy and putting it toward the sense of a wider future and legacy. Make sure that you are allowing yourself to connect and express those dreams, those intuitive messages, and you are absolutely able to create yourself, right? Yourself, as opposed to anything else. You create yourself and everything else follows from there. You create your legacy only by doing the work for and of yourself. Pay attention. And then on Sunday, you have the Eight of Swords. Okay. Wow. The Eight of Swords. No, that's not. This is the Eight of Wands. All right. Sorry, it's a new deck. Can you tell? The Eight of Wands and the Devil. Okay, so this is about moving too fast. This is about moving too fast in an old pattern and witnessing how it catches you. We've got that T-square, right, with Mars and the and the Sun and Chiron. So this is absolutely the energy of moving too fast in an old pattern, and you know, you get that hook and it trips you right up. So going along to get along, right? Just doing the thing because this is what we've always done is absolutely not going to get you anything you want today. And again, we're talking about the Devil. These are old, stale patterns. This is the stuff that sits down underneath the whatever it is that you want to call it, and then bubbles up, right? Those nasty, nefarious, mean-spirited kind of comments. Again, absolutely creating a hazard. You throw that stuff down on the floor, you're the one that's going to slip in it, right? Not somebody else. So if you do not want to muddy your own waters, you cannot throw mud, right? Right. Thank you. That was a nice one. You start here with Believe. One of my favorites. Are you reminded of the way that you want to feel? Are you working on that actively? Or are you spinning your energy out, distracted in terms of other people's business, other people's structures, other people's actions, words, thoughts, deeds, where you believe they need to change, right? These beliefs are what create your reality. These beliefs are what create your reality. You're not creating anyone else's. You're only creating yours. And so the more you believe you need to be embedded, embroiled, or enmeshed in anything that anybody else does, says, or thinks, the less you're giving your energy to creating your reality. Right? Right. Absolutely. We get this absolutely luscious, a deep breath. How beautiful. Number 7. Let's see what that message is, shall we? Key concepts. A genuine expectation of danger, projection of a threat without substance, fight or flight mode, the inability to focus, trusting in the universe as a way to release fear. Fear is asking for your attention and your healing right now. This is true, absolutely. You or another are operating from a position of fear. If you also see red flags, you might be headed toward genuine danger, perhaps repeating a lesson you don't need to learn again. Yeah, you can honor this kind of fear by saying thank you and protecting yourself by choosing another path. In this moment, you have all it takes to make this shift. In this moment, you have all it takes to make this shift. Did we not just talk about now? Right? We did. If, on the other hand, the fear surrounds the idea of taking a risk, be mindful. Radical trust and accepting the discomfort of the new is called as you move out of your comfort zone. Ask for courage to take a leap into the unknown and know that all will be well. That is absolutely assured. But know that all will be well doesn't mean all you've come to expect. Stories from the past may be molding your expectations right now and causing fear-based or anticipated hurt. Don't isolate yourself or fall for the false idea that life is too painful and engaging with it should be avoided. Right? We have all this Pisces energy, Saturn in Pisces, the moon's moving into Pisces. This kind of distraction is not the way to fix a thing. Exposure therapy doesn't work if you don't expose yourself to it, right? How about loving that side of you that's afraid, acting out and causing all this unnecessary commotion? You'll never be happy if this small part of you controls your life, as it will if you allow it. However, remember to be gentle with yourself and others. Once you let go and relax into your life, everything looks brighter and friendly. Today, choose love over fear. You'll be amazed when you do. Choose love over fear, right? Yep. Yes. And I would like to also say, you have a whole lot of majors flowing through this week and a whole lot of big energy that is, I want to say, it's herding you towards big choices, right? If it is a deep breath and letting go of the compulsion to look externally for any kind of validation or guidance or anything, please hear that message, right? Please hear that message. More of the same is always going to get you more of the same. Use this eclipse, use this retrograde season, right? This is the biggest, widest part of that retrograde mirror. Utilize it to focus on yourself and exclude everybody else from what it is that you believe you want to do, right? Pay attention to this beautiful meshing of divine energies in the absolute whatever the next step looks like, right? This is trusting the universe in all of your fullness, right? And making sure that you don't get ahead of yourself, making sure that you don't kind of muddy the waters, like throw business out onto the floor and then all of a sudden you're the one sliding toward the abyss, right? Take care, breathe, step by step. There's no reason to kind of forge ahead until you're ready, until you have your answers, until you understand what it is that you want. Otherwise, you're just lighting fires in the corners, and guess what? All that's going to get you is a conflagration, my friends. Please slow down. Ask yourself, what do I want in every situation, right? Take care, and I'll see you soon. Be super blessed.